Rusty, rusty, rusty. Well, actually, I just kind of woke up from a nap, so. Ma- Maori. That's a dope name, Maori. Oliver. Thank you. Mr. Zor. I don't know what to say, bro. Mike. Not really, bro. I don't feel like playing Nirvana. Too busy trying to develop my own style. Um, Test. Okay, good. Busy trying to develop my own style. Either you sit and shed on your own stuff, or you end up sounding like everybody else. And I don't want to sound like everybody else. I like Dave Grohl, but I don't want to sound like him. And it ain't like I don't know it. I just don't want to play it. Well, I know the pop stuff, not all their stuff. Rick, Rick, what's up? Rick Grimes. No, I don't need a new mic. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just started 5 months ago. Ah, okay. Woo! Have to practice. Oh Lord, this is I hate it. I know there's a need for cops, and I'm watching this cop right now, and I'm like, really? This guy's lying. It's why I don't know, man. I don't like him, and I don't trust him, man. I don't like him, and I don't trust him. I went to school with guys who became cops, and every single, all except one, my boy Charlie Simonelli. The rest of them, they were punks, man. They used to get bullied. You know, my boy Charlie. Charlie's a good dude. The rest of them jokers, I know like six dudes became cops. Out of all six, five of them were punks, man. I mean, when I say they used to get bullied, they used to get bullied, and I wasn't no tough guy, but them jokers used to get bullied, man. Like straight up bullied, man. It like that stuff bothers me, man. I don't know how old you guys are, but I grew up like when you grow up, some of your friends are gonna become cops, and a lot of times, I hate making sweeping statements, but a lot of times, it's the guys who were like goofballs. You know, mind you, I was a music nerd. A lot of them jokers be goofballs, man. Like the goofball cornballs who, you know, become cops because they can get a badge and feel like they're tough and all of that. Yuckity yuck. Yuck. Uh, what? Ah. Tips on increasing speed. Oh, sorry about that. I'm trying to get out of burping on the mic. Tips on building speed. Um, I woke up in an ambulance. Holy schmoly. Um, use finger technique. Here's the fulcrum. The middle part of your knuckle. That's where the movement comes from. these two fingers, I don't know if you noticed, it's just, that's where the movement comes from. So practice this movement. Practice this movement. When you close your fingers, that's for the control. So you can move your hand like this, you can move your hand like that, you know. And practice all grips. French grip, German grip, doesn't matter. This to that. The reason why I say that is because when you're playing on the kit, like a lot of people are like, I only use French grip. I only use German grip. If you keep doing that, you're going to get a really, really bad case of carpal tunnel. When you're playing the drum set, your hand is going from this position. You're going from this position to this position to this position. Sometimes you're like this, you know. You're like this. Sometimes you're like this. And this hand's like that, like you're playing, I guess this is French grip, whatever. Like right now, this is this grip. This is this grip. You know, so practice all grips because your hands are going to move. When you're playing the kit, your hands are going to move from here to here to here to here. You know, so that, use finger technique. Speed doesn't come from, it comes from playing something slowly and steady and relaxed. Loosen your grip. Don't worry about dropping the sticks. You know, loosen your grip. If you're tight, like if you're playing, if your grip is too tight, you'll never develop finger technique. And again, you'll develop carpal tunnel. But okay, well, if I'm an imbecile, then you do better. Do better. If I'm an imbecile, show me. Don't type it out. Make a video. Okay? Do better. Do better. I have proof. My skill set. All you have is type it in the chat. I have proof. I have proof. Not breaking a sweat. Not out of breath. Played with ease, played relaxed. Prove it. Do better. And I'm not saying I'm the best on YouTube or even the best in Metro Atlanta. I'm saying if you can talk trash in the chat, I'm going to call you to back it up. If you can't back it up, then you're full of it. show me. Do better. But you can't. You can't. And I'm an average, mediocre drummer. But you're not better than me. You not. So you can stay in the chat and troll all you want. You can talk trash all you want, but you can't back it up. You can't. You say your dog plays better than me. I think your dog is better than you. I think your dog plays better than you, bro. Can't do that. Do better. Do better. I'm not a winner. I'm an average dude. I'm an average guy. But you can't do better. Since you called me an imbecile, you can't do better. I'm like, in Atlanta, I'm literally an average guy. You do better. I'm not a winner. You're just not better than me. Jet drums. Thank you. I try. I just practice a lot, man. That's all it is. I just practice a lot. What I'm doing isn't really special. I just put like a lot of time in. Another thing too is practice on different surfaces. You know, just practice on pillows. Practice on really bouncy surfaces and really dead surfaces, and just go back and forth. You know, but yeah, really, the speed just comes from slow and steady. You know, so flam taps is another thing that's really good. You know that. Another good exercise is this. Pyramids. Those are really good. They're good warm-ups. But yeah, that. Another way of building speed. Oh my goodness, this girl's a mess. Hold on, I'm trying to find something to watch. Ooh. Besides relaxing, yeah, just relax, man. Relax, slow and steady. Speed is like making your bed. When you first, when your dad's like, make up your bed. It might take you like 10 minutes, whatever, to make up your bed because you're a kid, whatever. You're like, I don't know, 7 years old, whatever. You're figuring it out. So then over time, um, it goes from 10 minutes to like 7 minutes because this is really loud. It goes from 10 minutes to 7 minutes because you're used to doing it. And then over time, it goes from 7 minutes to 5 minutes. Then it goes from 5 minutes to, I don't know, 2.5 minutes. Where you just kind of roll out of bed, wipe the crumb cake out your eyes, make up your bed, boom, put your pillow up there, and you're right. And you're ready. You hop in the shower, whatever. It's just, my point is, it's just, speed just comes from repetition. That's why I like in martial arts, little kids, the instructors aren't, the instructors are trying to drill the movements in their heads so that whenever they're faced with an opponent, it's second nature. It's automatic. They can just go right to it. Speed is the same way. I had blew out my wrist really bad, which is why I switched to finger technique. But I had to go through physical rehab. And one of the guys was like a 11,000th degree black belt. And what he did was, he said, hey, man, a fast muscle is, well, what he did was he had me come in with a practice pad and a pair of sticks and show what I do, my technique. And he was like, it's horrible, He said, the reason why you got, really bad my elbows were bad too. He said, the reason why your elbows and your wrists are shot is because you're too tense. And he was like, a fast muscle is a relaxed muscle. He's like, you need to relax. You need to loosen your grip. I used to get blisters here and everything. He was like, you need to loosen your grip and you need to play more relaxed. So after that, I went on YouTube and I looked at World's Fastest Drummer League. And I noticed that all those guys were using it, they were all using finger technique. So I literally just sat there like, I don't have one here. But I would walk around with a practice pad like that, trying to develop my finger technique. And over time, it just, it wasn't a matter of trying to develop speed. Speed just kind of came along with practicing the movement over and over and over and over. So, but yeah, and also I'll say this: it's a lot of times it's discouraging. The way growth is, you make a lot of ground when you're growing in your skill set. Then eventually you hit a wall, and the growth becomes like incremental. It's really slow, and it'll feel like, man, I just stopped growing. You haven't. You got to just keep pushing past that. And emotionally, you're like, dang, man. And it's emotionally frustrating. Ignore all that. Just keep playing. Make sure you're not hurting yourself, of course. But just keep playing. And eventually you'll get there. It's like anything else, man. Like, I'm not doing anything special. Does it change how you set up your kit? I'm left-handed, but I play on a right-handed kit. So no, at least for me. It might for you, but at least for me, it hasn't changed how I set up my kit. I know this much. Don't put your cymbals way up high. Like, I've seen guys, their cymbals are way up there, and it's dangerous. Because you can, like Phil Collins, I saw on Drumeo, he was being interviewed by his son. The guy's got spinal column problems, and they need to be fused. He's walking around with a cane. He had to stop playing just from bad technique. His drums are way up here. Cymbals are up here. Neil Peart, before he died, he had to stop playing. His cymbals were way up here. you know, and that that takes a toll on your body. Everything should be reasonably close, you know. Um, yeah, just reasonably close. But in terms of setting up your kid, if you're, you know, if you're on a right-handed kid, if you're left-handed playing on a right-handed kid like I am, I don't think it's any different. I mean, I've had people who played right-handed come over and play my kid, and the one thing they say is, "Wow, everything is kind of like easy to reach." Um, but yeah, so you know, I don't. I mean, I don't know. I just know for me, I don't think it really made a difference. You know, bro, Simon, you sound good, but unless you can show it, don't do it. Don't now, because now you know you're you know you came off. You call me an imbecile. I clap back, bro. I don't like trolls. I think you're cowards. I think it's easy to say what you want to say online, but if you saw somebody in person, you'd be like, "Oh well, you know what I mean?" Like, come on, bro. Like, stop. Like, you know, now you're talking about the deep understanding. Man, show me deep understanding by proving it. I don't want to hear nothing. Just prove it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no problem. You know, and I'll be honest. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't. Yeah. Oh, you're being mean. No, I'm defending myself. If you call me a name, I'm gonna clap back. You know, like I don't. I'm not with the whole. Well, be nice. No, if you say something crazy at me, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna clap back at you. And that's like normal. You know what I mean? So. What's up, bro? Huh? Yeah. Come on. That looks like that looks like enough. I don't know, man. Come on. You know, but I'm sorry, man. If you say something to me crazy in the chat, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna clap back at you. You know, which is normal. You know, I think Vox guitar. I think you were here this morning. Um, but I think I think set the drums up the way as long as you're comfortable, man. You know, as long as you're. I learned this years ago from like Tony Royster. He was like, you don't want to find yourself fighting against the kid. He had a DW like DVD back in the day, and in it he was like, just play like you don't want to find again you don't want to find yourself fighting against the kid, and you don't want to find yourself fighting against the kid. You know what I mean? Fighting to reach stuff. You know what I mean? So just set it up comfortably. You know. Do I have one? Yeah, I've got some mods, but they're not in the chat right now. Um, I don't really. I kind of stream roughly around. Sometimes it's like 7, sometimes it's like 6, sometimes it's 8. So you know, but but yeah, um, but yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
people know you can't. Come on, bro. You know, you sound. It's easy to sound good in the chat. It's really easy to sound like you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like the internet, people are like people say anything on the internet. You know, they could use flowery words and pontificate about. Oh, well, you really should use this technique. And then if you actually saw them, they sound like a drum kit falling down a flight of stairs. Like so, it's like I don't like I'm like prove it, okay. And usually I'm like first, okay, well help me out. If I'm doing something wrong, you can do better. Show me, like help me out. You know, if not, then go somewhere else. You know,
Sorry, bro. If the truth hurts, then show me. Show me. Show me. Show me. Show me what you can do. Tag, like, send me tag my name in a do something. Show me. Show me. As a matter of fact, I'll let you come in the chat so you could go live on your setup. Show me. Show me. If you can't show me, like I said, it's easy for people to talk really good on the internet. It's easy to to have like use these words and analyze this, and then you see them playing, you're like, he don't know what he's talking about. He can't even you sound good, but like, you know, you talk good, but like you sound like a set of drums falling down a flight of stairs. Like, you know, so it's, you know, show me. If you can't prove it, then your words are trash. You know, you don't know what you're talking about. That's it. Show me, my brother. Show me. Show me you know what you're talking about. Don't pull the show me what. You know what I'm talking about. Show me. Stop all the gaslighting and all of that and show me. Post a video. Y'all, go on his channel and see what he does. See how he plays. Go on his channel. Show me. Show me what you can do. Because I'm definitely going to go on your channel and see what you do. I ain't going to comment. I'm just going to prove my own point. Show me. That's tricky. that's a good exercise because it teaches you to play on the beat and behind the beat. So you know, and it forces you in order to get it. You have to relax. It took a while for me to actually be able to pull that off. And what I usually do is I'll uh, I'll make whatever it is I'm trying to learn how to do. I'll just make it an exercise. You know, I'll just keep playing it over and over and over every day until I finally get the hang of it. You know, so John, what's up, my brother? Where were you? Get that Simon dude out of there. Um, but yeah, so you know, um, but yeah, it's like, and I'll say this: if you have basic rhythm, if you could clap along to a beat, instead of like, if you're not clapping like that, if you could basically clap along to a beat, then you have basic rhythm. It can be refined. I say that because just naturally, I'm like the running joke in my house used to be, the only reason why Mark is good is because he's always practicing with a metronome because he can't dance. He can barely chew gum and walk at the same time. Like he's got two left feet. Like, so like I would sit there to a metronome over and over and over, and eventually, what I found that you got to learn the space. The notes aren't important. It's the spaces in between the notes that's important. Um, Feeling the notes. It's what you don't play. It's not what you play. It's what you don't play. That counts. But but yeah. So you know, it's just and like I said, give yourself some time. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself time because if everything takes time. I don't care what it is. Everything takes time. You don't just wake up and you know, like I've heard people say there's no such thing as natural talent. In a way, I agree with that, but in a way I don't. I think there are people who just naturally have a propensity to something. Um, but I think hard work trumps talent any day. Like I've seen guys. I came up with guys who were just off top, like better than me, off top. But I would obsess over getting better, and I just eventually I lapped them. So it's just really putting in as much time as possible. Like there's guys that in the chat that if I'm literally on a practice pad kit, I'll wake up early in the morning and I'm on a practice pad kit. You know, Sometimes I'm playing to a metronome, sometimes I'm not. But that's like every day. You know, Even if I don't play drums for the rest of the day, if I don't stream, if I don't practice on the drum kit for the rest of the day, I'm still gonna play on the I'm still gonna play on the practice pad kit. You know, before I had that practice pad kit, I just had a pad. I would just you know, um, practicing doubles, singles, paradiddles, flams, but just put in as much time as possible and make sure you have proper technique because that will save your life. It will lengthen it'll lengthen your ability to play. You know. Yo, that's wait. That's a good one. Vox guitar, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, that sucks. Oh, thank you. Yo, what do you mean the hours are different? What do you mean? Um, that sucks. Yeah, John is a mod. Yeah. Um, well, I would say that sucks, but how's the pay? Yeah, that's why I say yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, as long as the pay is better. As long as the pay is better. Um, but no, that's why I say sometimes yes and sometimes no because there's a guy, there's a little kid, little pudgy kid. Um, this kid can't be no more than like 2 years old, and he's playing like he's got his two fat little fingers, and he knows chords. Like it's wild. And then there's a guy on there's a kid on Instagram where he plays guitar, bass, drums, piano, and he's in Logic making beats, looping samples. He'll be like, okay, he'll play like a guitar part, or you'll hear him like tick, 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 and then he'll play a guitar part, and then he'll like add a bass line to it, and then you'll see him just kind of like with his mouse, kind of like click, 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 and then he'll you'll see him playing drums to it, you know. And then I've seen him chopping up samples. He makes like I usually that's what I do. I'll make my own. I'll play guitar, bass, drums, and then I'll chop my own samples up. This kid, like he was, and it takes a while to kind of do that because it takes a while to learn those instruments enough to where you could kind of express what you want to do. This kid, he was a kid. I first saw him, he couldn't have been no more than probably like 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old. So that's why I said sometimes yes and sometimes no. But I will say this: there are kids who I grew up with who were just smoking on drums, um, and I guess they rest on their talent a lot of times. And I would obsess over just getting better, because not for nothing, I came up like in my household, there was like no dancing, no nothing. I didn't grow up in a culture of rhythm, so there was no dancing. There was, you know what I mean. It was kind of strict. Well, at least my sisters, they knew all the latest dances. For me, it was kind of I was a nerd, man. So and plus it wasn't like I could go out like we couldn't play rap and stuff. Like it was kind of strict. So there was no culture of rhythm. Um, so I had to get it how I got it, man. I had to really really practice and just obsess over it. I tell people all the time I would practice 5 hours a day. On the weekends it was like 6 to 7. You know. Um, so I just put in so much time that I just put in time, man. So hard work trumps talent any day. So that's why I say yes and no, because I know there are kids like who just were natural. They were natural at whatever they're doing, but there are kids who really really worked hard and just what I mean. Just they worked hard and they just got really good. So exactly. John, you got songs, bro? Ah, okay. Yeah, I know the feeling, man. Yeah, I know the feeling, bro. I'm just. It's funny you said that, man. I got out of drums and I got out of it and then I just stopped playing. Well, I didn't get out of it. I just stopped playing. I, always had a drum set and for a while I was just making songs. For a while I was just making EDM. I put out a gang of EDM stuff. Um, like a bunch of albums, EPs, singles. It's kind of weird because I got so much into composing that that I don't know. It's hard for me to kind of do two things at once. Like if, if I pour myself into one thing, I'm gonna pour myself into that. Um, but yeah, I just got into composing, and now I just started focusing on getting back to the drums. Really early last year, and then I just ramped it up. Really like 3 months ago, I really ramped it up. Um, and I feel like right now, I don't know. I think the guy Rick Grimes. I think you were saying. I think I was telling you about hitting a wall. I feel like right now I'm hitting a wall. Um, and it's annoying, but you got to keep playing past it. I feel like I definitely hit a wall. I definitely hit one. Rick, do you have a drum set? Oh no, that's why I made him a mod. Do you have a drum set? Ah, scoliosis. My sisters have it. It runs in my family on the women's side. Um, my sisters have it, and I think one of my daughters has it. Um, but I didn't. Yeah, it kind of makes sense since muscles kind of straighten the back. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Um. Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, I know how it is, man. Like I used to be a big dude, and I that's part of the reason why I stopped playing. I just got lazy, man. I was like 240 something pounds. I was big. Um, Now I bounce between 202 and like 207, you know. But I was big, so I just went and bought a bunch of weights and really got serious about my health. But that's good that you're working on that, man. You know, that's really good. That's really good, man. I like to hear about people, taking care of their health, man. You know, um, you know, health really is wealth, man. It sounds like a goofy cliche, but it really is. That's a good way to look at it. That's an excellent way to look at it, actually. Like a mountain. Yeah, that's an excellent way to look at it. Because I look at it as a wall. I'm like, oh, I can't get over it. Yeah, a mountain is better because at least you can climb the mountain, as opposed to looking at a wall and like, okay, how am I going to scale this? Yeah. Pearl. Pearls are good kids, man. I have a pearl snare, and it's a cheap one. And everybody's like, "Man, how'd you get your snare tone?" I'm like, "Man, it's a cheap pearl export, man. That's There's a reason why pearl is like the biggest selling kit, man. There's a lot of drum sets, a lot of drum companies, and they make really really good drums. But pearl, like you'll find a pearl. You'll go to Bangladesh and somebody got a pearl drum set. Pearl just makes. I didn't realize it until I was reading this article in some magazine or something like that, and they were talking about drums and the biggest selling ones and what have you. And they were like, they did the stats and everything, and Pearl hands down was like, everything else was like over here, and Pearl was like over here, in terms of sales, man. And then I kind of thought about it. I was like, yeah, yeah, that's kind of true because I've been to a lot of places and I've seen drummers, and you always find a Pearl drum set, and they just make generally really really good stuff. So yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Ours doesn't have a Pearl because they were like, hey Mark, we used to have an electric kit, and the music director was like, all right, this ain't working. I was just kind of like, hey man, I'm just happy to be here. Um, but it was one of the older ones, so like basically it's a plate and you're hitting it. It's a plate with rubber on it and you're hitting it. And my wrists and elbows used to be killing me after Sunday service. So the music director, who was a drummer, um, he did like marching band, and even when he was in college, he was in a marching band and stuff like that. But he was like, "Hey, Mark, can you go to Guitar Center?" I'm like, sure. He's like, all right, I'm gonna come pick you up. No, he's like, I'll meet you at the Guitar Center in like Alpharetta. That's like Metro Atlanta. And we just went and got. They only had a Pearl Export, and I was like, well, and it was one of the newer ones too, which was really nice. And he was like, I saw a white Export. I was like, this is nice, and I'm thinking budget. But he was like, no, bro. He's like, we can get something a little nicer, man. I was like, well, what about that Yamaha? He was like, that works, and it was the nice one too. But it didn't have. It was used, and it didn't have a snare. So we ended up getting a Tama, like a 14 by like 6.5 snare. All Zildjian Zildjian A's. So it's a really, really nice kit. A nice kit. So, you know, with, of course, Pearl hardware. That's another thing, too. Pearl hardware is really good. The only other hardware I could say is like Tama and not Mapex, Sonar. Tama and Sonar. I have a Sonar. I got a Sonar stand right there. That thing, you can drop it downstairs, you can do whatever, and it's like almost indestructible. That's hard. Oh yeah. Well, it was a set of bongos that a friend of mine gave me, so I just put one over here, and one's kind of off camera. Oh, I stole it from somebody else, man. I stole the idea from somebody else. Um, Chris Dave does it. Chris Dave does it because he says he hates toms because he says he's like I sound horrible on toms. I first saw it was a guy Horatio Hernandez, a Cuban guy, and I only saw him do it once. Um, but yeah, I stole it from. And I've seen other guys, a lot of younger drummers. They'll just sit the bongos right there, but it'll fall off if I do that. So I split them up and put a mount on one and a mount on the other, and called it a day. This is a good exercise. I got to get better at it. I just got to actually spend time doing it.
Ah,
Or this. Ah! That's weird because it's almost like you're following your hands. What time is it for me or John? Oh, John, you must be in Cali. I'm in ATL. Yeah, it's 8:30. So yeah, it's like 8:30 here. No way, I broke a stick. Holy schmoly. It kind of rarely happens. If it does, it's from rim shots. I play a lot of rim shots. Take it down, my brother Rick. You have a good night. I gotta strengthen. Well, not strengthen. I just gotta work on the ghost notes. They sound sloppy. Sloppy. But dope sticks, I've heard of those. I've heard of dope sticks. Yeah, Eric Moore. Yeah. Really? I would figure it's Eric Moore. I would figure. All right, I got to get out of here because I got to use the bathroom and I got to see what my son decided to make dinner. And he's like a really, really good cook. So he ain't as good as his mama, but he's a really good cook. So, all right, y'all. Peace.